I know. It's like, it's kind of.
No, I come occasionally, but I wanted to come in here. Randy, I could.
I'll have to look out the window.
So I guess I thought, oh, well, yeah.
It's a gorgeous view.
I have to leave my dog at home and I'm feeling really.
There's all kinds of things downstairs, like food, all kinds of different stuff.
It was just strange. It was fun.
I mean,
Like the little movie they show you beforehand.
right now, because I've got a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get cleaned up in my house. I left my sister pass her October, and so I have all of that. It's waiting on my number.
Okay, we're going to get started. Welcome, everybody, to the Two-Way Street Coffee House. My name is Jennifer. Tonight, we are thrilled to welcome Randy Palmer. So we're super excited that he's going to have a whole night of wonderful music for us. So we have been having music in this room every Friday night for 53 years. So thank you so much for being part of the wonderful tradition that is this room. We've had so many wonderful artists come through. So we're super excited to have Randy tonight. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's give Randy a big welcome.
All right. Wow, what an evening. This is I've been looking forward to this for almost a year. We booked this the end of last summer. So this is just a thrill to be here. And you might realize from my accent that I'm not local. I mean, West Texas boy, New Mexico mountains. So those are what I call home. So tonight we're going to learn a lot about each other. I'm going to tell you a lot about me, but I absorbed things that are coming from you guys all night long. So it's just going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. So here's a little song about where I'm from. Well, these headlights are looking forward to the Oklahoma border, leaving Arkansas, all these trees behind. We're gonna roll across these ranges, these wide, empty spaces, down gravel roads to peace of mind. Well, these wheels, they're pointed westward through the scrub oak and the red dirt to the acres great-granddaddy claimed. It's a farm, it's family, it's good hard red winter wheat, and everyone knows my name. Out on the high plains, reach mile along this road, takes me to where I belong. I'm going home to the high plains. And these wide lines slap a rhythm to a new verse being written to the songs I've been singing all my life. Oh, there is no mystery, I did not fit Tennessee, so I'm on my way to clear blue skies. If you look across the horizon, you might see a dust cloud rising behind a 1999 beat-up Ford. Well, my name is on the mailbox, my key fits a door lock, and my favorite chair, it's on the porch. Out on the high plains, reach mile along this road, takes me to where I belong. I'm going home to the high plains. And without those city lights, Milky Way's gonna shine so bright. This blind man, he might receive his sight. Yes, once again, out on the high plains, each mile along this road takes me to where I belong. I'm going home to the high plains. And these headlights are looking forward to the Oklahoma border, leaving Arkansas, all these trees behind. Thank you. It's going to be a good night. You know, there's people we met last summer at the Kerrville Folk Festival. I saw this T-shirt over there on the Kerrville. I mean, I have more of those in my closet than anything else. And great place. If you've never had the opportunity to be there, take it and run with it. It's so fun. 18 days in a 100-degree heat. You know, it's nothing like it. Staying up till 2 to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just so fun. So I want you to experience that. So one of the things you're going to learn about me tonight is that I have been, there's not a better word than blessed with this, the best partner in life that I could possibly imagine, my wife, Ann, right over here. We've celebrated 44 years of marriage, and we're going for 45. So, well, she forgave the lies I told her, and all the ways I broke her heart. She let me walk outside, and walk back in, and begin with a new start. She lets me love her, clean and pure, and she puts her hand in mine when I'm reaching out for hers. And that's so beautiful, it's so fine, it's so flesh and blood, and so divine, not to be alone in this universe. She belongs to me, and I belong to her. And every single morning, you know I'm more amazed, 'cause she can see down deep inside me the best me I'll ever be. But she lives with the progress of this old piece of work, and she loves me just like I am, for better or for worse. And that's so beautiful, it's so fine, it's so flesh and blood, and so divine, not to be alone in this universe. She belongs to me, and I belong to her. You know, but I'm on the trail of this girl that stole my heart, and winning her every day is what sweetness is about. And she protects me from the cold, safest warm I've ever felt. So thank our lucky stars, let's keep our secrets to ourselves. and that's so beautiful. It's so fine, it's so flesh and blood, and so divine, not to be alone in this universe. She belongs to me, and I belong to her. Yeah, she belongs to me, and I belong to her. Thank you. Thank you. Though this first part of the show is actually, well, all of it's going to be a little bit biographical, so you'll know a little bit about me, and also I'm watching. Some of you have had some long-term relationships, and I can tell that by the smiles and on that. But one of my favorite topics to talk about is the Dust Bowl, and I know for you guys that's maybe a strange topic, but for me, living in Amarillo, Texas, that's recent history. Even up into the 50s, we had dust storms that came through there. That I can remember as a child, my mom placing wet towels and blankets over the windows and stuff to keep out the dust as it was blowing outside. There's a great book called The Worst Hard Times, and it's the basis for the Rich Burns documentary on the Dust Bowl. And if you ever have a chance, pick that book up and read it. You will actually read about some of my wife's relatives. And I'm all of a sudden I can't say his name. Yeah, Tex Thornton. He was from Amarillo, and he put out oil well fires like Red Adair. You may have seen those movies, these old movies about putting out oil field fires. And but during the Dust Bowl, he hired out to seed clouds, shoot dynamite up into the air and seed the clouds. A little town called Dalhart, Texas, hired him to do that, and he shot lots of dynamite up. No rain came, and he left town in the middle of the night. And I think it was a good thing that he did. And so they were counting on something there. So this is a song about the Dust Bowl days, written from that book. Well, he looks across the kingdom, the acres that he owns of the Llano Estacado. It's a place he makes his home. You know this homestead is not easy. Claim the land and plant your mark. For 320 acres, it's just enough to make a start. And then it's blow, dirt, blow. These acres into dreams. You can't make her whole unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the greed. Oh, but the cowboys and the Indians, they both disagreed, and they said this land was made for grass, not cotton and not wheat, 'cause it is home to the buffalo, then the sacred cow. When you turn this sod over, you're gonna drive her spirit out. And then it's blow, dirt, blow. With these acres into dreams, you can make her whole unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the greed. the dust stood as deep as the snow. Covered all the fence posts, then the windows and the doors. And the old folks and the baby, we just prayed they might survive as they choked on dirt all through the night. Because it's blow, dirt blow, these acres into dreams. You can't make her whole unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the creed. Unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the creed. Thank you. Thank you. I love doing that. That song is on an album that was. I think we did that album in 2014, and it's been one of the enduring songs. So some of them last, some of them don't, and that's one of them that's lasted. But this is another one. It's the title song off that album, and it's about the. You remember Katrina? The Hurricane Katrina. Well, after that, my wife and I and a group of folks from a church that I was a part of went to New Orleans and worked in recovery operations. And we spent, I don't know how many, couple weeks or so down there. And I was assigned to this lady's house. Her name was Miss Betty. Miss Betty was a foster mom, and she was needing to get back into business. Her house was just destroyed, and let me tell you a little bit about Miss Betty. She was a rather large person, and very, very, very black, and she had this most beautiful eyes that I think maybe I've ever seen, and they were just like my grandmother's. When I saw her, I saw my grandmother, and when she hugged me, I could sniff my grandmother because she wore the same perfume, and it was such a moving experience being with Miss Betty, and we were in her living room of her house, and I asked her, I said, how are you doing with all of this? And she looked up and she pointed at the crown mold that was running around the room, and she said, you see those water lines up there? Underneath those water lines, we're all the same. And so I think that I'm doing just fine, and we're going to be okay. And I took that as real wisdom to carry on forward, that life will throw you a lot of curves, but we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We live in a time where sometimes we don't know what tomorrow's coming, but we do know that we're going to be okay. And that's my little point of wisdom from Miss Betty. This is a song called Waterline. And it comes from all the things I heard Miss Betty say while I was there. It's a hot, muggy day, drinking Red Cross Kool-Aid, and I wished I'd sleep, and this would be a dream. Don't believe that TV screen or that newsstand magazine until you stood beneath the waterline. Won't you come stand next to me? And from here, what do you see? Is there a future? Are we captives of the past? And with our backs to the wall, at the ceiling the lines crawl, and it's something we all share, in and out, everywhere, 'cause we live beneath the waterline. We live beneath the waterline. And I've seen cars up in trees. I've seen houses washed down the street. Lives lost, souls washed away. And if you're rich or you're poor, it don't matter anymore, 'cause we're all the same beneath the waterline. So won't you come stand next to me, and from here what do you see? Is there a future? Are we captives of the past? And with our backs to the wall, at the ceiling the lines crawl. And it's something we all share, in and out and everywhere, 'cause we live beneath the waterline. We live beneath the waterline. And this is not a battle between us and a storm. It's a fight for home and family, ought to give and give love. If my house don't make it, honey, I still have a home. And it's here with the brothers and sisters of the saints keep marching on. So won't you come stand next to me, and from here what do you see? Is there a future? Are we captives of the past? And with our backs to the wall, at the ceiling the lines scrawl. And it's something we all share, in and out everywhere, 'cause we live beneath the waterline. We live beneath the waterline. I'm laughing because I looked at the next song, and this is a brand spanking new song. So this is your guinea pigs for this song. This was written. I need to back up and say the very first song I sang tonight was a co-write with a good friend of mine. His name is Randy Lewis Brown, and he lives in Mineola, Texas. He's a great guy. And together we do a little duo thing too, and we're called the Randy Boys when we play together. So somebody named us that, and it stuck. So we'll live with it. But that song was written with Randy Brown, and then this song is written with a fellow named Jim Bradley, and Jim Bradley is the bass player for a group called the Rifters. And if you're into Western music, or if you're into really good Southwestern music, Jim Bradley you'll find him. But this is a song that Jim and I wrote, and we decided we'd write something that was different for both of us. So tell me how we did. Well, it's just like it was and like it never has been. I don't know what to say. Oh, everyone's here, wrong line, we tune up. It's time to play, and we'll sing out the old songs and trade off the lines. Always a new tune or two. You know, it's just like it was, like it never has been. You know, it all goes round again. Oh, we sang Maria, and we sang it out loud. And for all those nights when our harmonies never worked out, we were young, we were proud, And we only knew then what we don't know now. You know it's just like it was, it never has been, and it all goes round again. This is where you need somebody with a Telecaster here. Dipsy lady, you know your miracle worked for me, and I believe that your song set us free. So it's just like it was and like it never has been, and I still come back here to play. Through all of the miles and all of those smiles we've won, we lost on the way. You know every word comes straight from the heart, a promise, a brand new day. And it's just like it was, it never has been. It all goes round again. Whoa, my Maria, oh, we sang it out loud. And for all those nights when our harmonies never worked out, we were young, we were proud, and if we only knew then what we don't still know now. You know it's just like it was, it never has been, and it all goes round again. It's around again. Yes, it all goes round. Yes, around and around. Oh, it all goes round again. I get tickled at that because I don't play songs like that very often. So it's really fun. Jim is a great guy. If you ever get a chance, look at the Rifters. Their CDs out there. They've got a bunch of them, and they're really, really, really fine musicians. When I was sitting in the green room just a little bit ago, I looked across the room and I could see on the doors there's a cabinet on one side that's for AA. There's a cabinet on the other side that's for Al-Anon, and then there's a scout room over there. And then they have this really, really cool room that says Mission and Justice. I think that's cool. I think that is really that is something that we can all get behind too. Justice, having a mission in life was really something, But when I thought of this song, when I was sitting there, and it's a song about a friend of mine. I used to be a painting contractor a long time ago, and so and he was working for me, and his mother was an alcoholic, and he needed to tell her that they needed help. And so this is a song that I wrote as he was working through what to do. I parked the car and my chin falls to my chest. I say a prayer, then my words will be blessed, and that her bottle will still be full, trapped between less and more. I am her son, I'm a child that she bore. It's a cold winter's night in her home out by the shore. She needs the truth, and I need her. We're both between less and more. But as a child, she'd tuck me in. My favorite story she'd read again and again. And as I stood there in my mother's arms, that bottle stole away her heart. It's not too late. You know we could start again. Take it from me. Let me show you where I've been. We'll step off down Civic Street. It's where I go. It's where I meet. And in that room, no one will laugh. We'll tell our stories. Please be my guest. In those arms, that bottle stole away her heart. And as a child, she tucked me in. My favorite story she'd read again and again. And as I laid there in my mother's arms, that bottle stole away her heart. And now I'm asking, I'm begging, please take my hand, go with me. Sorry I missed the line in that song. Kind of choked me up thinking about him. This is a song that a really good friend of mine, his name is Jim Livingston, and he is a landscape photographer in West Texas. And he's a great landscape photographer in West Texas. I ought to say it that way. And if you ever want to, look online and say jimlivingstonart.com, and you'll see his photos there. They're amazing landscapes of the high plains in all its beauty, which is hard to find sometimes, but he captures it just in a certain way. And he's also, his side gig is he's a storm chaser. So, and I think that's really, really cool. And so I heard this about him, and I'd never met him, so I called him up and asked him to go to coffee one day, and we hit it off really well. And I started asking questions about storm chasing, and I want to go. You know, my wife says no, but I want to go. And he told me one of the cool things about storm chasing is you get to drive 300, 400, 500 miles a day. And he said that's the hardest part. You just drive forever chasing storms. And then he showed me this video. And picture this, if you will. This is like looking at through his camera, and he's looking at across a field, and this little tornadoes are dancing on the other side, little tornadoes. And so and he's kind of narrating. You know, this is here. There are certain kind of clouds and all this sort of thing, and he's going along, and all of a sudden, the camera goes, whoo, bam, 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 hits his truck 3 times, and then it goes, whoo, and he goes, wow, and you hear the storm and everything else around him, but his wow is really loud, and one of those little tornadoes snuck up behind him and lifted him off the ground, hit him. Banged him on his truck 3 times and then dropped him to the ground, and he lived to tell it. And so I tell him when I do this song, I always talk about our conversation and how exciting that was for me to see that, and I really want to go.
Sounds like proof that you shouldn't go.
Yeah. So. I'm on my 2nd cup of coffee. It's 6 a.m. as daybreak draws an outline across the great high plains. Got the weather radio on. I got a pencil in my hand, and I'm tracing the dry line for about 6 p.m. I'm gonna throw into the back seat the sum of all my gear. I got a hard hat, a ball cap, mud boots, and rain gear, and a trusty prized possession, an old Nikon D3 with a fisheye mounted on it. We're gonna set some monsters free, and I'll drive, oh, to catch the wind, and I hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin. Well, she used to ride shotgun when we raced across this land. Rode a lasso, a twister, and put a photo in a hand. More than one night near El Reno, you know I got too close to call. So she married her a cowboy, and she lives down south of Claude, and I still drive. Oh, to catch the wind, and I hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin. What used to be a season, March into July, has grown with the weather. Oh, now it's nationwide. Oh, the gas tank's never empty, and my weather is on the phone. And this deadly obsession, you know, it still calls me on, and I still drive. Oh, to catch the wind, and I hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin. And I'll drive, oh, to catch the wind, and I hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin and spin and spin. I'm sorry?
That'd be a great sing-along.
That would, yeah, yes. Yeah. And Jim is great when he talks about that song. I mean, now that he's heard the song, he always talks about, that's my favorite part, is driving and gassing up and gassing up and driving. And I have this wonderful family around me of not only relatives and friends and musicians and stuff. It's just, I'm almost 70 years old, and I'm having more fun today than I think I've ever had before. And I'm meeting more people and building better friendships and longer lasting relationships. This is just great. And you being here tonight is like proof that it's worth it. And so thank you. My grandparents were great people. They were, I don't know, what would you call them? They weren't, I'm a Presbyterian, but they weren't a Presbyterian. They were very fundamental and primitive sort of Baptist sort of upbringing. And so when the first time that I can remember that they took me to church with them scared me to death. And so I wrote a song about it. And if it's a bluegrass song, and if you learn the chorus to this, please sing along. This is not a selfish song. This is to share around. I was a boy, and I was in my grandma's arms at the Central Baptist Church. The choir would sing, we would clap along, and this is what I heard. They were singing, who will walk down to the river, to the banks of the Jordan, so chilly and wide, and place their hands into the palm of the Savior, who could lead them through to the other side. And I said, who? Is it you? I said, who? But when that preacher, he stood up to speak, you know, fire flew from his eyes. And I swear he was looking straight at me as thunder filled the sky. And they were singing, who will walk down to the river, to the banks of the Jordan, that are chilly and wide, and place their hands into the palm of the Savior, who could lead them through to the other side. And I said, who? Is that you? I said, who? It got quiet, and they whispered across that room, would you like to walk this aisle? My heart felt weak, my things, like my legs were stones. Not now, maybe in a little while. We'll all sing, who will walk down to the river, to the banks of the Jordan, that are chilly and wide, and place their hands into the palm of the Savior, who could lead them through to the other side. Oh, lead them through to the other side. We're going to do a couple more songs, and we're going to take a break here. But That's like the second or third time I've ever done that song, and kind of went off okay. I think. I think I'm going to try this little guitar over here. This is a new purchase of mine that I'll tell you a little story about this guitar. I had another guitar. I had this great old Martin guitar that I'd bought at an estate sale, and I thought I had this great idea. I'm going to make some money because it was cheap, and the guitar is really a fine instrument. And so I listed it and all this, and after a year of it being listed, it sold just for a couple of weeks ago, and it sold for my asking price. When I was thrilled. And so I've always wanted a little parlor guitar, and so immediately went out and bought this. Well, the guy got it in the mail, and he said he didn't quite think it was what he expected, so he sent it back. So it's a great guitar, but now I've got one extra guitar. So if there's any buyers in the room, well, what am I getting? What am I getting? Something you need to know about me is that I love New Mexico. I love New Mexico. My family, I met my wife in Eagles Nest, New Mexico, and her family had a cabin that her grandparents had built in the late 40s, and my family in 1968 decided to build a cabin up there in the mountains, and so we met and had a little high school romance sort of in the mountains, and here we are 44 years later. Well, we dated for 10 years. So that would be 54 years ago that we met up there. So, but my dad and my brother and I, and I may do a song about that and about that particular part of our lives. But this song is written about building a cabin at the end of the road with my dad and my brother. In 1968, I was 13 years old, and electricity hadn't quite got to where we were building. So we had to cut every board. All the framing and stuff was hand cut and nailed. And for a 13-year-old boy, there was never anything better than being there with my dad and being there with my brother. I got to know my dad in a whole new way. And so this is a song that comes from that time. I have to stop for just a second and remember the melody. 8,636 feet up in New Mexico, down a one-lane dirt track, that's where you'll find me. So welcome to my home. A son and a father, we built on this land when I was 13 years old, using 20-penny nails, all driven by hand. So welcome to my home. You know, if peace is worth seeking, I'm here to say I never found it down a blacktop road. I need air that is clear and a cool mountain breeze. So welcome to my home. Nice little parlor guitar he did. Oh, the Milky Way does shine here at the top of the world, and the river, she runs wild as I hold my lady, my girl. $8,636 feet, that's heaven, that's New Mexico. I feel so comfortable with that fire burning low. So welcome to my home. You know, if peace is worth seeking, I'm here to say I never found it on a blacktop road. I need air that is clear and a cool mountain breeze. So welcome to my home. Yes, welcome to my home. My father-in-law was a wonderful man. In fact, he's the one who introduced me to my wife. In a truck stop, Dalhart, Texas, on the way to the mountains, he was a PR executive. And so, like all good PR executives, he gets up at breakfast and introduces everybody to each other in the room and asks how your meal is. And he was a wonderful man. But I used to write jingles, and one time I was doing a jingle package, and he rode with me to Nashville to produce the jingle, and it was the first time that I'd been with him that long. And on the way, I learned a lot about World War II. He finally opened up and told me about it. And so this is a song that I remember him. This is the song I like to sing. He was an Air Corps captain in World War II. The Aleutian Islands, then the Italian boot. And he served the red, white, and blue. And when you ask him, he was going to tell you that he was a Texas boy from a town named Lott. To beat the draft, he signed up. And they cut flight school right smack in half and said, gas him up, boys. Fly fast, so he flies. Yeah, he flies above the flak. He's way up high. You know, he fights for love, he flies for hate, but he flies for freedom's sake. He flies. He flies. There were Italian girls and there were whiskey nights. But life got simple, it was just stay alive. And that was 80 years ago he fought that fight for freedom and justice and all things right. And he sits in a chair at 93. He lost a lot of stuff, but his heart is free. He lays back his head and lets the sun warm his eyes, and he's down the runway. He's up in the sky and he flies. Yeah, he flies above the flak. Oh, he's way up high. You know, he fights for love, he fights for hate, but he flies. For freedom's sake, he flies. He flies. And he flies. Oh, yes, he flies above the flak, way up high. You know, he fights for love, he fights for hate, but he flies. For freedom's sake, he flies. He flies. I'll let him fly. Wonderful man. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Randy. That was great. The bathrooms are down the hall and on the left. We're going to take about a 10 or 15-minute break. Randy also has some CDs that he brought. Yeah, so they're on the counter, so be sure to check those out as you're refilling your drink and snacks. And we'll see you back in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
And I heard you say real interesting, so I came all the way from the northwest suburbs of Woodstock. Okay. 2 trains. 2 trains. Wow. You may have the product. I'm usually always the furthest.
I am. You're Ann. Yes. Good to see you. You know, I just texted
This is really
the
fun.
Jane.
I spent the whole day in Chicago, going all over everywhere, and then I come here. I don't like to just get on a later train and come here. Oh wow, you haven't been in New York?
Go slow. Go slow.
I really like the trains. I've taken Amtrak over to Denver because I've got cousins 50 miles northeast of it in Loveland. And then him and his wife, they put me up for them there. Don't have to have a hotel. And I get to go sightsee and see, you know, Loveland? Oh,
I saw that you guys were that you guys had come through. I remember that she went to
over the... Okay, I know Loveland Pass. I was there. But then we go, the first year at least, I went, 2 years ago, I went up into Estes Park. I love all the shops. And the jerky factory. Oh man, they had a deer go in there. Yeah, came out before I got in there, but it was in there like minutes before. Then we heard a music concert at a church. I was singing opera music. It was great.
I used to drive down this road with a girl.
Yeah. It's just in the foothills, so you don't have to go up too high in elevation. Because that would really bug my ears. Certainly bad enough.
Where the ditch was about 20 feet straight down the ground. This is fun.
It is. I watched it online.
It's almost all intersection. I saw one about 2 weeks ago.
Which I haven't been to it.
How it got hit, the left tire was, both front tires were.
I saw a couple of contractors.
We stay in the right lane, look.
I opened the car door though, and I was like, the tires right there.
Well,
290, you have to follow that 350.
So which of your CDs? We have good rings.
got married today.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Send you your email. I have a registrar and but you know what, second or next, who knows whether I'll remember that or not, so.
I don't know how to
Let me get your info.
Oh, hey buddy. Yeah, I tell you.
Lizardo Museum, Rumble Michael is a.
So you can go around for 2 years.
Tomorrow it's all about it. Right.
Everybody was so excited about free
Okay.
I wasn't gonna go because I was feeling like crap.
Take a picture.
Well worth it.
Right. Probably be 12. There's only so much. Well, the amount of bandwidth, I guess. Too many megabytes or whatnot. And so just prepare yourself.
Sometimes I use a program called Hightail that you can send on the
Alright.
But I'll pull all the
Put it on my list of things to do.
And so your next.
That'll be the equal amount.
Right, so it just, I can usually get 2 on email, sometimes 3, it depends on.
On how.
How long, usually I know. Well, you're beginning of it too, just setting it up, where you are. But you can call your manager, that's not bad.
Okay.
Well, I tried to make sure.
You know?
That's what I did.
Nobody wanted to hear it.
Oh, that's so sad to know. That's what I did. I've been playing for a long time.
Well, I'll see Jim here.
Okay.
You know, he's on the label with
Okay. Was that your friend?
Well,
And I look at it today. You can pick them out for a cup of coffee. Oh my God.
Yeah, we did. Marathon in the middle of August.
pretty hot.
We missed the hottest.
So y'all weren't there the weekend
He was thrilled.
We'll have to send him another one.
Yeah.
Worry about this too. Yeah. I think
My original last name was
Alright. Yeah, he saw the aurora borealis and I saw his pictures of it. So I was like, wow.
Somebody's gonna do it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it's I've been around through there. I know what the land looks like when you're, you know. Hey, well, we love your street.
That's what she had, her father was a doctor. He almost made her, practically dead. After his, she never learned to speak English. She took care of her brother and sister's kids. They made her.
Yeah, right.
They took her away. They didn't want me, you know. I was really, I figured out today, it was two things. I wasn't Mexican, plus I learned that was didn't have much.
When he makes eye contact, it's like, I'd rather be that. I just gave him notes.
I didn't marry her for 18 years.
That's all it looks like.
You know, she really cared. She really helped me.
Right.
You know, she finally could call, speaking to talk on the phone. I told her I'd fly down to see her from Houston. I'm like, she gave it up, you know. It's like, I believe in Christ Jesus is looking out for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I don't have. I hurt my back. I'm just saying I was disabled. Like, gonna labor and finish school. And so it's a hard time, you know. Grocery store, drive the bike. I bought about 80 guitars. That was what was this master here. I saw the basic. And they have an artist for this retired.
So people know you.
It's called Walter.
I don't face it.
I got a salt. I was right for it. I want to get rid of it. I replaced the phone. No, I got it in cases. I have some other jeans. You know, I mean, I got into it. I want to do it. I'm like, I am now. But like, you know, I'm so bad. And late. I really, you know, I lost my sight last Thanksgiving. Well, they don't know. Tell me all.
Let's get another keeping up with.
It could have been it's probably the Ozempic. That's just how Margie here about like I have had years. So
I don't know anything about that.
back.
You can't see to drive the bus.
My memories are Steve Guy Clark. I can hear them. That one song. It's definitely like reminding me a little bit of Randall Land. Part of music and then the song you were doing about talking about Texas reminded me of the trilogy.
I really would. I mean, it's just that it's. I'm sorry.
Oh. I saw him several times.
The other
I took care of his mother in ICU. And I took my parents to go see him one time. And he came over to our table with my parents and there and they taking care of his mother. Oh my God.
I haven't had my CDO expires for 27.
That's unlike his. That's not like his character. He's kind of really gross. So I was just really taken aback, and my parents are there. It's like, oh shit. Well,
Oh, really?
well, I'm just so glad I just feel so much better.
I guess that's not where you're supposed to be, so you know.
Help my spirits. I'm sure. No, you will.
I'll pay $100.
Are you almost ready to start?
Yes, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started with another set from Randy. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody, as I have been the past few weeks, that the Fox Valley Folk Festival is coming up at Labor Day weekend, and they've switched locations. There's flyers on your table, and also outside. They're about a half a mile north of where the original location on Island Park. They're in Wheeler Park now. So don't forget that. We actually have a two-way street stage there that'll be performing, I think, 1 o'clock on Sunday. And we have Andrew Calhoun, who's going to be part of that. And also Ashley and Simpson are playing, so that'll be fun. Yay! Yeah. And then next week we have Rod Abernethy, and he's amazing if you haven't heard him before. So be sure to come back next Friday. Very same time, same place. We will be here. But now we have another set from Randy.
Right, thank you. This is a good night. I mean, I'm having a blast with you guys, and I hope you're enjoying yourselves too. And also, my guitar is staying in tune. So woo, it's a voodoo thing, I think. Okay.
This is another song that my friend Randy Brown and I wrote together. He actually wrote the big part of this song. He was going fishing one morning up in southern Colorado, and he was walking to the river, and he passed by a cottonwood tree, and underneath the cottonwood tree, in the shade, were two black labs. And then he walked a little further out into the sunshine, and there was a white lab laying in the sunshine. And he called me up and he said, "There's a life lesson here." He said, "We've got to write this song." And so this is a song called White Dog. White Dog, I'm sorry, it starts off with Black Dog, but it's White Dog. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Everybody needs a place. It's a place that makes you feel fine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. I've been a square peg looking for a round hole for way too long. I've seen lots of sad faces in places I don't belong. An old black-skirted babe in the shade of that cottonwood tree. You know, he's found his spot. I need to find one for me. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Everybody needs a place. It's a place that makes you feel fine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. And that white dog, she's sleeping. She's not doing nobody harm. She's fine in the sunshine, and she knows right where she belongs. And I'm black, I'm a square peg, and I'm tired of being somebody else. If I can't be that round peg, I guess I'll just be myself. Black dog in the shade, sing it with me. Black dog in the sunshine. Everybody needs a place. It's a place that makes you feel fine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. You know, in this life you get but one good chance. So find your spot and get out there and dance. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Everybody needs a place. It's a place that makes you feel fine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Sorry, I had a little rough start there trying to figure out what I was playing here. But I haven't even welcomed the folks online, but I'm so glad that, if you're tuned in tonight, thank you so much. We're having a good time, and I want you to have a good time also. So I have a daughter, and her name is Betsy, and she is the apple of my eye, and she is watching online tonight. So thank you, Betsy. I'm trying to think of how to introduce this next song. It's a new song that I've only played it out once or twice before, and I wrote it with a Western writer by the name of Mike Blakely. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of him. He writes Western novels, and he also performs as a singer-songwriter. He's really talented, good guy. But we decided to get together and to see what it would be like if we wrote together. And we wrote this in like 45 minutes. And then he wanted to know what to do with the rest of the day. So he's a fast writer. So this is a song called Struggle. There's a whole lot of water running under this bridge, this river of wins and losses. And there's a whole lot of couldas and should have beens that got tossed in with the what ifs. So take it from me, I'm standing knee deep. I'm trying to make a picture out of this puzzle. So step in with me, friend, and join the struggle. Yeah, the struggle. There's a world of trouble we all live in. Our best wishes, they get trampled. And it all began a long time ago with the bite of an apple. And every day I wake up, I got so many problems to juggle. So step in with me, friend, and join the struggle. Yeah, the struggle. I said, ooh-wee, let's take it one day at a time. You know we're stronger when your shoulder touches mine. I know I'm not the only one that stands here at the crossroads. If your broken dreams are weighing you down, it's high time for you to unload. If you feel you're in quicksand, lost in a deep dark jungle, take my hand, my friend, let's join this struggle. Yes, the struggle. I said, ooh-wee, let's take it one day at a time. I'm stronger when your shoulder touches mine. There's a whole lot of water running under this bridge, this river of wins and losses. There's a whole lot of could have and should have beens that tossed in with the what ifs. Oh, every day is all in the past, and it's time to make a clear, bright tomorrow. So step in with me, friend, let's join the struggle. Yes, the struggle. Let's join the struggle. Yes, the struggle. This is a song off that album, that Waterline album. But I love to every show to have at least 3 or 4 love songs in the middle of it. This is one of my favorites. Oh, I placed the bed, and I live with the regret for every song that I'll never sing. And I've dreamed dreams inside dreams. They're still hanging in the breeze, so I hold my breath so they don't blow away.
But if I could step back in time and rewind all the choices I have made. Yes, if there were the chance, I'd never hold your hand, then there's nothing that I would want to change. And if a wish or a roll, I could turn these songs to gold, I'd be the first to toss the dice. And I've dreamed dreams inside dreams. I'm still hanging in the breeze, and I'd hold my breath. Sorry, got the wrong line, so they don't go away. But if I could step back in time and rewind all the choices I have made. Yes, if there were the chance, I'd never hold your hand, then there's nothing that I would want to change. If I could step back in time and rewind all the choices I have made. Yes, if there were the chance, I'd never hold your hand, then there's nothing that I would want to change. Nothing that I would want to change. I don't get political very often, if ever. I mean, really. Double check this. This song is about a friend of mine that I've met over the years and got to know really well. And his life, his trajectory of his life is, he starts off in Mexico. He ends up as an illegal alien or immigrant here in the United States. He's a really fabulous person, but he's also fighting a losing game. And so this is a song that it rings true to me, and I hope it says something to you. And it's about my friend. His name is Leo, but for this reason for this song is that he's called Juan. My name is Juan, and I'm traveling on when the harvest is complete. But for now, I toil my hands in the soil. I'm a breath from slavery. I'm up at dawn 'cause I work with the sun. Out here, I'm a refugee. I'm just seeking a place to make the great escape to the land of the free. So take a side and admit that I'm alive. Someone who meets your needs. Then pay me fair and show me that you care for the family that I feed. And please don't believe those rumors about me, that I lie, I steal and I deceive. Don't make me swim that river again and through the deserts weave. Let's turn this page, start over again, make laws that I can keep, and see me as a man. I'm possibly your friend in the bosom of liberty. But take a side and admit that I'm alive. Someone who meets your needs. Then pay me fair and admit that I care for the family that I feed. 'Cause my name is one I'll be traveling on when the harvest is complete. Double check some tune here. That's what I thought. Okay. You know, there are lots of part of life that a lot of it's joyful, and a lot of it is during COVID. It just seems like a dream, doesn't it? I mean, it just doesn't seem real that we lived through that, we were at our cabin in New Mexico, and this really dear friend of mine called me on the phone. He said, "I just need you to know that they're about to put me on a ventilator, and you know, pray for me, be there for me." And I was very, very concerned, and then like a week and a half later, he called and he said, "I made it. I'm through. I'm off the ventilator, and I'm able to talk." You know, he said, he's real raspy, and he said, and so we celebrated that day. He died that night of a heart attack, you know, and it was devastating. He was a very good man, a very good man, ornery but good, and so it just got me thinking about that process of how we go through loss and what it's like,
And I looked over during this kind of contemplative sort of time, and Ann was going through the junk drawer that everybody has, and she was sorting things out and stuff, and it hit me, what would I do if I lost her, and how would I react, and how would I handle that? And so, and of course, if you're a songwriter, you write a song about it. You touch an emotion, and it gets raw, and you write something about it. So this is a song, and it's, if you've lost somebody close, somebody you love, please know that we care, and this song is it's for you. I'm sorry. I got the word. I didn't punch the... So we'll start over again. It was a great introduction. The follow-through is not so good. Well, I reached into an old junk drawer to find a memory of yours between the buttons, the nickels, and the twine. In his heart, as I searched, there was nothing there but hurt. There was nothing to mend this heart of mine. Ah, grief, you're a mystery, a wondrous misery, a question never satisfied. You're a thought uncompleted, and I'm standing here defeated, and I'm reaching out for arms I'll never find. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind. So I reached a little deeper in between our secrets, you know, the kind we keep all to ourselves. And I found that they were empty. They'd been robbed of all their meanings. So I wrapped them up and I put them on the shelf. Ah, grief, you're a mystery, a wondrous misery, a question that's never satisfied. You're a thought uncompleted, and I'm standing here defeated, and I'm reaching out for arms I'll never find. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind. I am standing in our room, and I'm reaching for you. And as I take you to my arms, you are gone, and I'm alone. Ah, grief, you're a mystery, a wondrous
misery, a question that's never satisfied. You're a thought uncompleted, and I'm standing here defeated, and I'm reaching out for arms I'll never find. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind. Now we're definitely going to lighten it up. This song has been really good to me. I like this song a lot. But it starts off this way. I'm trying to write songs one morning, and I'm sitting there at a desk, and nothing's coming. Nothing's happening. And so I do the old thing. I get out a dictionary, stick my finger in it, and look to see. I peeked to see what the word was. And it was naive. It was the word naive. And I thought, this is perfect, because I'm pretty naive, and describes me to a T. And I got to thinking, when was it that life began to encroach in my safe little bubble as I was growing up? And so this song is the result of that introspection about when the world became a little unsafe. Hear the snap of sheets hanging on the line as a warm breeze sweeps the yard and fills this place with the smell of clean. I hear the beating of my heart as I lay here in fresh cut grass and watch the clouds drift by. You know, life was sweet and it was just for me in the summer of '65. Oh, I still hear that whomp as that ball hit my glove. I was squatting behind home plate, 2 outs, 3 runs on. Oh, the count was full, 2 and 3, and the air's electrified. Yeah, he fanned that flame, we won that game in the summer of '65. 'Cause we were innocent, we were so naive, we did not understand Vietnam or Martin Luther King. The world was spinning faster, and our days were slipping by, and our questions started mounting in the summer of '65. You know, '65 was the year of Watts, the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And we all sing we shall overcome, not knowing what it meant. But it made the old folks nervous and put fear in their eyes. I guess the status quo was DOA in the summer of '65. Yeah. Oh, we played moonlit games of kick the can and sneaking in the dark, fighting off the Viet Cong invading the neighbor's yard. Oh, the feeling, it's with me in the stillness of the night. We started playing war a whole lot more in the summer of '65. 'Cause we were innocent, we were so naive, we did not understand Vietnam or Martin Luther King. The world was spinning faster, our days were slipping by, and our questions started mounting in the summer of '65. Yeah. Oh, so here I am. I'm an older man. I long since turned 65. And if I could, I'd like to leave something good behind. Well, maybe for my grandson, turn darkness into light. But the best I can do is to give to him a summer like 65. 'Cause we were innocent, we were so naive, we did not understand Vietnam or Martin Luther King. And the world was spinning faster, and our days were slipping by, and our questions started mounting in the summer 65. Yeah, the questions. Oh, the questions started mounting in 1965. I catch myself. I alluded to earlier about my family, about what a lucky guy I am. My mom and my dad, my mom's passed away, and my dad, he's carrying on. He's 92 this year, and he's just the most wonderful friend that I've ever had. He's my best friend. That's who I choose to hang out with, is to be with him. My mom she was a wonderful, feisty, she could bite your head off with one minute and love you the next one, and just it was great. I mean, their chemistry was wonderful. And a few years back, this is now quite a few years back, my mom was in the hospital, and my dad was caring for her, and I got to go to school with what it looked like to do that well, what it was like, and so I took some things out of their story and wrote a song about it. And this is something. Better. Yeah. So this is a song, 60 Years of Love. Mama's resting on the bed. Her body's weak and my daddy's scared. Been touch and go all through the night. So he reaches out, he takes her hand, he says, God, please, could you understand? 60 years of love is not enough. And he sees her as his bride, young and beautiful, standing by his side. Through all the years that they've been through the good, the bad, they're living proof that 60 years of love is not enough. Well, they were teenage kids that broke the rules. They got married young in high school when they eloped to Tucumcari, New Mexico. True story. So he worked 2 jobs, he made ends meet. She finished high school with a baby. And 60 years have come and they've gone. So my brother and I stepped off to the side, and Daddy looked deep into Mama's eyes, and she said everything will be good. So he counts his blessings one by one, and he says we have not yet begun. 60 years of love is not enough. And he sees her as his bride, young and beautiful, standing by his side. And he sees her as his bride, young and beautiful, standing by his side. Through all the years they've been through the good, the bad, they're living proof that 60 years of love is not enough. So he counts his blessings one by one, and he says we have not yet begun. 60 years of love, 60 years of love. The 60 years of love is not enough. Something just doesn't feel right. Okay. This place in New Mexico that I keep bringing up, this cabin, it's outside of a little town named Eagle Nest, and that's about 25, 30 miles from Taos. Some people know where that is. And north of Santa Fe, about 80 miles, and up in the mountains, and it's about 9,000 feet elevation around the cabin areas. And when we built that cabin, it was absolutely a life-changing event for me. My father, we did it on the cheap, so all winter long, we collected materials. My dad was a painting contractor, and we worked out deals around jobs that we would clean up the job so we could keep the scraps. And so we stored all this stuff over the winter. We had this yard that we kept it all in, and in all of June we drove it there and took it to the mountains. It's about 4.5 hours away from Amarillo, and took it up there, stacked it all, got it all organized, and then on July 4th we started. And we didn't stop until Thanksgiving. We worked weekends. I mean, this was my dad still had to be home and work, but we worked every weekend from July 4th through Thanksgiving. And on Thanksgiving weekend, my dad and I got to stay in the cabin. Froze our tail ends off. It was so cold, and in fact, we opened the refrigerator to warm up. You know, it was really cold, and I mean that's a true story too. And the next night we stayed down at the Laguna Vista Motel. But when we were building the cabin, it was so good. It was so fun. And there was this retired general contractor there that had encouraged my dad to build this cabin, and his name was M.B. Allen. And M.B. was a character deluxe. But he did this wonderful thing to me. He would come by, usually every day he was there checking on us when we were there, and he
he would knock walls down, he would correct things, and he would encourage us to do it better. And so, because we didn't know how to build a cabin, we were learning as we went. And but every so often he would show up and he'd say, "Randy, put that nail belt down, because today you and I are going fishing." And it was so fun to go fishing with M.B. Allen. He made it an adventure. He would take me to Eagle Nest Lake, which was at this point in time, now it's a state park. At that point in time, it was a private lake, and you paid to go in to fish. And MB, I had to bait my hook a certain way. I had 13 kernels of corn, 3 salmon eggs, 2 marshmallows, and a worm. And they had to be in that order, and they had to be the exact number. And he inspected every time that I got ready to cast that thing. He would inspect it. But I never, ever did not catch fish with M.B. Allen. I mean, it was a 13-year-old's dream come true to be with M.B. Allen. So this is a song called Deeper Water, and it comes from Fishing with M.B. Something's wrong. I'm looking at Sue because I know you got an ear. Okay, I just want to make sure. Well, it's straight up 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Idling at the gate, 'cause we were first in the line. I was 13 years old, and he was shouting stories about the ones that got away and the ones that are bound for glory. Old man Gallagher had a knowing smile when he opened up that gate. He said, $3 for that kid and $6 'cause you shave. I see you got a new fishing buddy. I hope you teach him right. MB grinned and he said, hey Bill, we're having fish tonight. He said, cast your line into deeper water and leave the past behind. Welcome to the wonder of an ancient love affair between a fish and a fisherman. You got to take a chance if you hope to reel her in. Reel her in. And like a bucking horse, that old Jeep, well, it bounced around that lake to a secret cove that MB called his sea of grace. And it was on that sacred shore he imparted his wisdom about love and war, good and bad, living and fishing. He said, cast your line into deeper water and leave the past behind. Welcome to the wonder of an ancient love affair between a fish and a fisherman. You got to take a chance if you hope to reel her in.
know, it's 50 years ago, and I'm still coming back. I got my grandson at my side, and we're bouncing down this track to a secret cove, a sacred shore, and I know what to say about the ones that are bound for glory and the ones that get away. I'll say, cast your line into deeper water and leave the past behind. Welcome to the wonder of an ancient love affair between a fish and a fisherman. You got to take a chance if you hope to reel her in. I'll reel her in, yes, reel her in. Well, we've come to it. This is my last song for the evening. So this is a new song, well, relatively new on that, but it's about a true experience that happened to me. In the Mount Taylor is one of the Navajo holy mountains in New Mexico. It's the northwestern boundary of their territory that they had, and that was sacred to them, and it's still largely the reservation covers a good part of it. But I was invited. Our friend Jim Jones put together a writers' retreat on Mount Taylor last year, and I was invited to go to it, and I was with this a fellow who's become a dear friend named Alan Chapman, a great songwriter. If you're ever looking for, you know, he was a Guy Clark compatriot. We talked about Guy Clark, and Alan Chapman is just a great. He's old, and he's a codger, and he's fun, and he's sassy. I mean, he's there, all those things that you like about old songwriters, and so he and I there were 3 cabins at the top of the mountain, and we stayed in the one that was a little lower. We spent the night in, but we played in the cabin that was highest up in there. So after playing all night, we were headed back to our cabin to get a little sleep, and this is what happened. Well, Alan and I were driving somewhere past midnight. We were deep into the forest, so I shifted to 4-wheel drive. I thought I felt a tremble, so I put on the brake, and the silence descended, but we had not long to wait. 'Cause out of the mist, way off to stage left, appeared a wild Mustang pony with her withers wet with sweat and hard on her heels. Maybe 20 more, and they were followed by a stallion, and he was taking his ladies home. And I said, dance, ponies dance, magic and moonshine, prance across these headlights of this old truck of mine. And I said, dance, ponies dance, I let your spirit soar. Way up in the mountains of New Mexico. This is for the dancers out there. And when I die, Don't let my spirit rest until you spread my ashes in the canyons of the west. Oh, release me to the ages yet to come, and let me run with the ponies in my New Mexico home. And I said, dance, ponies dance, magic and moonshine prints across these headlights of this old truck of mine. And I said, dance, ponies dance, I'll let your spirit soar way up in the mountains of New Mexico. You know, I'll always treasure the ponies and that night as they sashayed through the aspen and they twirled with the pines. Their hoofs, they beat a rhythm that raised up the dust, and they faded into darkness on a silver cloud of love. And I said, dance, ponies dance, magic and moonshine prints across these headlights of this old truck of mine. And I said, dance, ponies dance, I'll let your spirit soar way up in the mountains of New Mexico. And I said, dance, ponies dance, I'll let your spirit soar way up in the mountains of New Mexico.
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful evening of music. I wanted to take a moment right now to thank our volunteers for tonight. We are an all-volunteer operation over here, so we have Tim helping at the counter, and Randy did the sound, and Joel was taking tickets at the door, and I'm Jennifer. So thanks so much for supporting the Two-Way Street. And now, Randy, nobody, and I mean nobody, gets out of the Two-Way Street without an encore. Did you happen to save one more song for us?
Oh, I have plenty of songs.
What do you guys think? Do you want one more song from Randy? Let's hear it.
Let's do it. Okay, let me see. This song is you know, when I buy a guitar, I want to know that it has songs in it. That's the. I mean, I'm not going to keep a guitar that doesn't produce songs. And this guitar produced this song the day I bought it, which is about a week ago. So, and so, if you see me quizzically looking at the sky here, it's trying to remember the words to this song. But this is I want to leave you with a love song. So. One of my favorite memories is waltzing in the kitchen. 1, 2, 3, as we twirled in circles on that hardwood floor, thanking heaven and asking for more. We dance, yes, we dance in each other's arms, yes, we dance, and our story lives on. One thing's for certain, I'm yours, you are mine, and we dance in 3/4 time. When I was a young man, I liked to guess what you would be like. This woman I wed, I prayed you'd be pretty
and that you'd be smart. Forgive all my failures and love me with all of your heart. And we dance in each other's arms, yes, we dance as our story lives on. One thing's for certain, I'm yours, you are mine, and we dance to 3/4 time. Today is an adventure. Tomorrow will write its own song. But our past, it's a mine full of treasure. It's our job to pass it along. 'Cause we dance in each other's arms, yes, we dance. Our story lives on. You know, one thing's for certain, I'm yours, you are mine, and we dance in 3/4 time. Yes, we dance in 3/4 time. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. Thank you out there in the inner world. Thank you so much.